Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and staying safe during this time. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Like I said, thank you so much for checking me out. If you haven't done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button just right below the video. Cool, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks again for your support. I truly do appreciate having you here.
I want to start out this video by actually covering why Ripple asked for an extension in this case. We know Ripple wants this case done ASAP, and they have been very critical of all the SEC's extensions. So why did Ripple just ask for an extension? Well, first of all, it was a very short extension. It was only like 2 days. So for Ripple, they've already been through this entire case. It's been going on for over a year now, so an extra 2 days is nothing. But the real reason I think they asked for this extension is because they want some extra time to completely destroy the SEC on the SEC's horrible latest filing. When the SEC first filed their latest document in the Ripple SEC case, I saw more people than ever calling out blatant mistakes in the SEC's filing, and I think Ripple just wants to take some extra time so they could absolutely destroy the SEC when Ripple files their response to the SEC's motion on Monday. I responded to James K. Filan's tweet, where James K. Filan was breaking the news that Ripple has extended the case. I said the SEC is about to get flamed. And as soon as I saw this extension go through, I knew instantly that Ripple saw everything we saw, everything the XRP community saw on Twitter, and they are likely finding even more stuff that we haven't even picked up on. I think Ripple is about to go all out in this next response to the SEC and really torch them to the courts. I think this is going to be a huge development, and I'm actually going to show you something that I think is seriously going to backfire for the SEC because of their latest filing. I think the SEC's latest filing, where they tried to prevent Ripple from getting the Estabrook notes and William Hinman's emails, could end up allowing Ripple to get both, and let me explain. Stephen Hubert tweets out, "You have to realize this again. The SEC is trying to convince the judge that the Estabrook notes would only have been relevant if the charges had been dismissed and Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson were allowed to leave the case. But now that that stands, they are saying that the evidence is no longer relevant because nonsense." So what Stephen Hubert is saying here, and this is a huge mistake by the SEC, is a couple weeks back, the SEC actually told the court that the Estabrook notes would only be relevant if Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson were allowed to leave the case. And to the SEC's surprise, the judge actually dismissed Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson leaving the case, so the SEC literally admitted to the court that the Estabrook notes should be relevant because Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson are being forced by the court to stay in this case. And this is in the SEC's own words. Now, the reason this is so explosive is because the Estabrook notes actually contain notes of Elad Royce telling Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson that XRP is not a security. This is explosive for this case because this is the entire thing the SEC is suing Ripple for, and Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson. And now there is proof that commissioners had told Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson that the SEC's entire case against them is completely false. So this is so bad for the SEC, and they accidentally told the court a couple weeks ago that these notes are relevant to the case because Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson are still in the case. So now the SEC is trying to do a 180. They're trying to say, actually, never mind. we completely change our thesis on this. These notes are not relevant no matter what, and they should not be handed over. It shows that the SEC is acting very transactional here. They're arguing one thing at a time and not looking how it's going to impact them in the future. This is a great example of this and a huge slip up by the SEC. But it's even more than that, and Jeremy Hogan actually tweeted this out in response to what I just told you. He said, I actually found something else. I think the SEC also got the meeting confused in their brief. Am I right? And someone said, yes, legal purgatory was Clayton and Hinman's meeting, not Roisman. So what he's talking about is Brad Garlinghouse left the meeting, and in the meeting he screamed out, Ripple is in legal purgatory, but actually he left the meeting with the impression, and he said this under deposition, that XRP is not a security, and he got that impression from Elad Roisman in the scenario that I just described to you before. Now, that is how Brad Garlinghouse left this meeting with the impression that XRP is not a security. But the SEC, in their brief, tried to play it off like Brad Garlinghouse left the meeting as if Ripple was in legal purgatory. No, he said he feels like Ripple's in legal purgatory prior to the meeting, but he stated in his deposition that when he left the meeting, he felt XRP was not a security. So the SEC blatantly lied about this in their motion, and this is just another thing that I think the Ripple lawyers are going to take complete advantage of and use to dismantle the SEC's arguments. In the end, I think this is going to force the SEC to not only hand over the emails, but the Esterbrook notes as well. If they are forced to do this, I think we are going to see the SEC stepping up to the settlement table very quickly. Now, you guys are not going to believe this. I thought this was awesome. This is from Library. They are another company getting sued by the SEC, and I kind of feel bad for them because the XRP community is so big. They have all these different lawyers following the case. Library doesn't have that, so I think we should all try to be supportive of this project. We know how much it stinks to have the SEC come after our coin, but I wanted to tweet this out because this is pretty savage of them. They tweeted out, we do not respect the SEC, and essentially they're going into deposition tomorrow, and they said they're going to purposely smell really bad just to throw off the SEC lawyers. But it actually gets so much funnier. I guess the SEC contacted them about this and asked them to take down this tweet, and they said, like this comment if you think the SEC should go F themselves, which is hilarious. They are fully roasting the SEC, knowing fully they are going to be reading this on Twitter. I respect Library for this, and if you think it's dumb, just read their response. Playing nice with the SEC for 4 years has gotten us absolutely nowhere. We are done being nice to these monsters. And the Library CEO actually did some clips with John Deaton, and he was like, no matter what we gave them, we tried to be as transparent as possible. We gave them every single thing they asked for. We asked them, what can we do to be more compliant with their rules, and got nothing other than the fact that the SEC wanted to drain them financially. I think these guys have eventually come to the point that there is no being a good guy with the SEC. They're going to come after you because they feel like it, and they are not going to give up until you are out of money. I think these guys are so sick of it and realize the best thing they can do is create outrage in different communities and show different communities how absurd the SEC is being, because at the end of the day, that is what is going to get the SEC's attention. attention. And right here we have Warren Davidson and Tom Emmer, two members of Congress, reaching out to Gary Gensler through a letter and saying, my office has received numerous tips from crypto and blockchain firms that the SEC's chair Gary Gensler's information reporting requests to the crypto community are overburdensome, don't feel particularly voluntary, and are stifling innovation. Another Congressman, Warren Davidson, then responded to this, and he said, I joined Tom Emmer with colleagues sending a letter to SEC Chair Gary Gensler regarding the SEC crippling crypto in America. We must promote American innovation rather than stifle it with an incoherent mix of bad regulation, selective enforcement, and ongoing inaction. This is massive. The SEC reports to Congress, and the fact that now these guys are getting on Gary Gensler's back specifically about completely stifling innovation in America, I think it's going to send a very strong message to Gary Gensler. I think he's going to realize that the walls are closing in on him and he needs to start acting. The most important part about all of this is that it was actually a bipartisan bill, so the fact that he's going to be hearing pushback from his own party is gonna do a lot in putting pressure on him to stop this attack on innovation in America. The more outraged people are, the better chance that certain parties will not get elected based on this going on, and I think it's eventually gonna lead Gary Gensler to push a lot of this crypto BS to the side and start doing some things that actually make America more competitive. Guys, last of all, I wanted to show you this clip of this former SEC official who just came out and made public statements on the Ripple SEC case. I think it is super important to analyze what these internal SEC officials are saying about the things going on at their own agency, especially about this Ripple SEC case, because I think it shows a lot of what the SEC's true intentions behind this case really were. So listen up.
I think, really, the outcome in the Ripple case is going to be a game changer, no matter what happens. If the SEC loses, of course, then they're going to want to come to the table and talk about engaging with the community. But even if they win, then they'll be the dog that caught the car. Now, what they're going to make XRP register as a security. I can think of about 30 ways that that's not going to work under the current regime, but it has to be amended in some way. And so I think an outcome in this case, either way, is a spur to, and I'm hopeful that Ripple wins, either way it's essentially a spur to an adaptation of 33 and 34 Acts to this unique digital asset class.
So first of all, he says, I hope Ripple wins. That's pretty sad, considering he should probably have some confidence in the agency he just came from, and he wants Ripple to escape the SEC's grasps. I think Ripple will win. I think they will. But he says even if they lose, there's no doubt about it, the SEC is going to have to change their rules to accommodate digital assets, and if that's what it takes to inspire change in a country who cannot get their act together, he's pretty much saying if that's what's needed to happen, then I guess that's it. But either way, he thinks this is going to positively impact the industry, and I really do agree with him. I think Ripple's going to win. I think they're going to escape the grasp of the SEC. I think they might have to work with the SEC on some things. I don't know exactly what that's going to be.
I'm your guy. I will keep you posted. I'm your advocate. I'll be back on a daily basis, usually multiple times per day, with these videos to keep you updated with everything going on. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Feel free to share any of my videos with your friends, family, social media, or anybody who may care to listen. Thanks so much for your continued support. I'm always here for you. I want to help you through this time. So thank you so much for continuing to choose me. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and I'll catch you again probably in a couple hours. Thanks, everybody. See you later.